All right, recording happening. So model manager will fetch data from your database, and normally that data will be given to, normally that model data will be given to action method. Action method will send this model data to the view. Once the data goes into the view, model property will store that data, and normally as a programmer, sorry, normally as a programmer you will be writing some code for reading that model data. Once you complete model data reading and once you display the data in proper format, normally action method will send this views output. Action method will send the views output to the response object. So the view result or this views output, this views output only I am calling it as view result. So that view result will be added into the response object, and then this view result will be sent to the browser. As a result, end user will see the output. As a result, end user will see the output. So that is how the data will be flowing from database to user. Hope you understood. Okay, so data goes from your database to user, so in this fashion. Okay, hopefully you understood. So once anyone understands this data flow sequence, understanding MVC coding will become very much simple. Okay, so nothing is there in MVC. Okay, so it is all about understanding how the flow is happening. Okay, data flow. So this is only one way flow, that is sending data from database to user. Now I already told you that there is one more flow. Normally you take any software applications, there will be two flows. User will give data, that data I have to store it into my database, or already existing data is present in database, you will be fetching that data and displaying the data to the users. So currently we observed the second part. Now let us talk about the first part. Okay, but before going to the first part, I would like to ask you one question. The question is, tell me, who will receive the model data first? When the data, when we are sending data from database to user, who will receive the model data first? Or who will create?
Manager, model managers.
Model manager will create the model. Okay.
Model data.
So this data will be sent to the action method, and action method will send this model data to the view. So once the model data comes into the view, that is the place where you need to display that data in proper format. So where exactly your data will be stored? Once the view receives model data, where exactly your data
Capital model. Model, sir.
Property, sir. Model property.
Capital model, it is model property actually. Good, but yeah, and for understanding, remember like that, model is a property. Okay, that is where your data will be stored. Okay, now you may get one doubt, who created that model property? It is part of MVC framework. Okay, whenever you are creating any view, automatically model property will come into that view. So that model property will store the incoming data. Hope you understood. So finally, after execution of the views code, views output will be sent to the response. Okay, and so this HTTP response object will be sent to the browser. Now let us see the next data flow sequence. Second sequence is sending the data from user to database. Now let us see how it happens in the MVC applications. So let us say I already got some views output in my browser. Okay, now let us say in the browser user is able to see some name text box and age text box and a submit button. Okay, you assume that this output already came from some view present in the web server. Now as usual, my MVC application which is hosted in the web server, will be having model manager, and also it will contain controller, also it will contain view. Okay, now apart from that, database is also there. Every application will be dealing with database. Okay, that is where your data will be residing. We also know that controller will be having n number of action methods. Action methods are special purpose methods. We will talk about the action methods later. Now, let us say user entered some data into the text boxes, and let us say now user clicked on the submit button. Okay, so tell me what will happen when the user clicks on submit button. You already knows this in ASP.NET.
HTTP request and HTTP response
Object will be created. Correct. So
web server in
post back request will go. Once the post back request goes, as you said, HTTP request and response objects will be created. And I already told you that, we already told you that whenever post back request is coming, whatever the data coming from browser, that data will be stored in the HTTP request object. We already explained this. HTTP request is a store for receiving the incoming data. Whatever the data coming from the browser, that data will be stored into the request object. So obviously this text box data and its value will be stored. Similar way, age and its value will be stored. After that, one action method will be executed. Which action method? Whichever the action method name present here and whichever the controller name is present over here, that particular controllers, that particular action method will be executed. Now, inside this action method, automatically will receive the model data. How it will receive the model data? Whatever the data you are typing into your controls, in fact, MVC framework will automatically read this data and it will automatically store the data into the model property. Now, there is a small difference here. The difference is, in case of ASP.NET applications, if you want to read the data present in a text box, how will you read the data in ASP.NET? Let us say there is a text box with the ID TB name.
With the ID, sir.
Right. Control ID dot text. Correct or not correct? TB name dot text. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
TB name dot text you will be typing. Okay. But when it comes to MVC, there is no question of directly accessing the control. You cannot write control ID dot text. It is not possible. Okay. So that control data will automatically comes into your model. Okay. So MVC eliminates unwanted coding required for reading the control data. Normally in ASP.NET applications, you will be writing TB name data. So not able to write properly, but you will be writing control ID dot text property. Okay, but all that coding is not really required in MVC. Automatically your control data will come into the model. Someone is typing, maybe a question. Right. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. I'm happy for that. Yeah. So, okay. So now, whatever the data coming from database, from the end users, that data will come into first HTTP request object, and that data will be automatically copied into the model. Now, after that, what we will do? We will send that received model data to the model manager. Model manager will send that model object data into the database by executing the database queries, maybe insert query, update query, delete query, whatever it is. Okay, that is how your data goes into database. Okay, so if you observe carefully the previous diagram and this current diagram, so it is all about filling the data into the model. Okay, so maybe data may be coming from database. That data you have to fill it into the model and then send it to the view. Reverse, if the data is coming from user, okay, in the browser, whatever the data user will be entering into the controls, that data has to come into the model and then send that model data to the model manager and then read that model data in the model manager and insert that data into the data. Simple. Okay, so in your MVC, your first step is from whichever the place the data is coming, make sure to store that data in the model and then send that model to the appropriate part present in the MVC. There you write the code either for displaying the data or for inserting the data or updating the data or deleting the data. As simple as this. Okay, so nothing much over here, but you may, so whenever I am explaining through this diagrammatic approach, obviously anyone can able to easily understand that, okay, data is coming like this, like this, like this. But how to implement this in the application? how to write the code for this. Okay, so that is really important, not this diagram. Diagram will make you understand the data flow, but how to implement this, that is what we are going to understand in the next session. But before going to the next session or before winding up the session, there are some important rules present in MVC. Okay, especially the folder structure rules. If you don't understand that folder structure rules, it will become almost impossible to understand the MVC concepts. Now what I will do is, I will try to explain those important rules which are part of the MVC. Okay, so listen carefully. Okay, so you take any kind of MVC application. In general, 3 folders will be present in your MVC application. There will be more folders, but our concentration is on these 3 important folders. What are those 3 folders? Models, you can clearly observe here, models folder, and then controllers folder, and then views folder. So these are the folders. Okay, so all your models related code must be stored inside the models folder. Okay, all model classes must be stored inside the models folder, and all controllers must be placed inside the controllers folder, and all views must be created inside the views folder. Okay, so it is just simple thing, so nothing much to get worried over here. So models will be having model classes, controllers will be having controller classes, views will be having view files. Okay, we will talk about what is that view file later. Now there are some important rules here. First rule is, every MVC application requires this folder. If your MVC application is not having views folder, your application will not work. Simple. Okay, if views folder is not present, your MVC application will not work. Views folder is compulsory folder, and when you are writing the views folder, your V, this character must be present in the uppercase. If V is not present in the uppercase, again it will stop working. Okay, these are the folder rules, file rules, which I want you to remember. Okay, by default, when you are creating MVC application, already this structure, folder structure will come. Why I am explaining all these things is, maybe sometimes by mistakenly some of you may try to change the folder names. If you change the folder names, your MVC application may not work. That is the reason why I am explaining. Next, there will be a folder called as controllers. You observe controllers suffix is there, right? It is plural. Controllers, views, that is how it should be. Next, models, plural. And you observe this V is uppercase, C is uppercase, and this M is uppercase. So those are the rules which are very much required. Even you can able to change this default behavior. Okay, so that is not really required for us. And I already told you that normally model classes will be stored in the models file. And remember, when you are giving name to the model file, in case if you are going to deal with patient data, I recommend you to give the file name as patient model. Okay, give that suffix as model. Okay, when you are dealing with patient data, you create a file with the name patient model.cs. Similar way, when you are dealing with patient data, okay, I recommend you to create the controller with the name patient controller.cs. But anyhow, if you don't give this controller suffix, sorry, prefix, when you are creating patient controller file, okay, when you are dealing with patient data, you have to give the file with the name, you have to create a file with the name patient controller in the controller folder. If your file name is not having controller, your code will not work, because that is the rule present in the MVC application. Every controller file must have controller as suffix. Very much important. Okay, but anyhow, having model as suffix is not compulsory, but having controller as a suffix is compulsory. Okay, don't ask me why, because it is a rule, right? So obviously we cannot be able to elaborate and talk about the rules. Okay, so when I say it is a rule, you have to follow, that's all. Okay, if you don't follow, what will happen? Tell me what will happen. Very simple, you will get error, that's all. What will happen? Right? So you will get error. Okay. Yes, someone is typing. Yes, very much correct. So Krishna, you are correct. So if any rule is there, whether it is C# rule or ASP.NET rule or any language rule or any technology rule, if you don't follow the rule, you will get a compilation error. Same problem here also. If you don't follow the proper folder structure, if you don't follow the proper file structure, definitely you will get a compilation. I hope you understood. Now, let us talk about the next part. So these things are very much important. Okay. So yeah, I have written all that rules, whatever I have explained, same rule I have written. Controller suffix is mandatory while creating the controller class file. Next, normally all your views must be created inside the views folder. In MVC applications, you can able to create the views by using either .aspx files or by using .cshtml files. You can create the views either by using .aspx files or by using .cshtml files. Okay. Now, remember in MVC, it is not recommended to use .aspx files. Okay. So only in ASP.NET it is recommended to use .aspx files. When it comes to MVC, it is strongly recommended to use .cshtml files. Don't go for .aspx. Okay. So .aspx is not a preferred mechanism, and hence you go with other type of files called as .cshtml. Okay. Now let us try to understand one more important rule. So this rule you must understand very carefully. Now the rule here is, for some reason I wanted to send the data from controller to view. We already understood that controller will usually send the data to the view. Okay. So while explaining this previous diagram, I told you that usually your controller's action method is responsible for sending the data to the view. Right? So same thing I am talking about. I am just trying to explain the same thing. Observation is important. So for some reason, I wanted to send the data from patient controller to this file. There is a dummy meaningless file created with the name def.cshtml. So I wanted to send data from patient controller to this view. Okay. When I try to send the data, my view cannot be able to receive the data. Even though controller is sending the data to the view, view cannot receive the data. Why it cannot be able to receive the data? The answer is simple. Again, there is a rule. Okay. So currently we are just talking about all the rules. What is the rule? The rule is simple. You must place your view inside a special folder. If you want to receive the data into your view from the patient controller, your view must be placed inside the subfolder whose name must be same as this controller's prefix. Observation is important. Okay. So whatever the controller prefix is there, so that should be your folder name. Okay. Or in simple words, your folder name must be same as controller name. So these are not my own rules. These are the rules present in the MVC. You have to follow it. Okay. So let me repeat this rule, or let me ask you the question so that everyone can able to understand the rule. So what is the rule here? If I want to send any data from any controller to any view, by default view cannot be able to receive the data. Tell me what I should do in order to receive the data. What to do for receiving?
Create the folder with the same name.
Subfolder.
So this def.cshtml view must be placed inside a subfolder. What is the name of the subfolder? Subfolder name
Patient controller.
controller name. Controller name. Okay, so patient controller. Okay, so this file name, whatever the prefix is there, so that should be your folder name, and this folder must be patient folder must be part of your views folder. It must be subfolder present in the views folder. Okay, this is the rule. Now let me ask you one more question. You assume that somewhere in your application you are dealing with a doctor model or a doctor data. Okay, so now you are having a doctor controller. For some reason I want to send the data from doctor controller to a dummy view named xyz.cshtml. Now tell me, when I send the data from doctor controller to this view can able to receive the data or cannot be able to receive the data?
Cannot be able to
Cannot
access
be.
because
Cannot
the
be able to
subfolder
receive. What I should do now?
Create a
subfolder we
subfolder.
need to for view.
Create subfolder.
Doctor folder.
You are correct. Create subfolder whose name must be same as
The controller.
Control.
Doctor control.
very good. So almost everyone is answering the question. Very good. Now let me ask you the next question. Now let us say in some cases, yeah, let us say I am having another view called as ghi.cshtml, just a dummy view, so no meaning for it. Okay, I created. Now for some reason I want to send the data from patient controller, also from doctor controller into this view. So this view will be receiving the data from not single controller, it will be receiving the data from multiple controllers. Tell me, what should I do? I cannot place two folders now. What I have to do is I have to place this file inside the shared folder. So when the view is receiving the data from more than one controller, it is better to place your view inside the shared folder. So these are the basic rules present in your MVC applications. I hope you understood the rules. Okay. So if you observe this explanation carefully, you will understand that this ef.cshtml is linked to patient controller. I can say there is a one-to-one relationship is there between the view and controller. So this view, one view usually belongs to one controller. That is a relation. Okay, that is the reason why mostly we will say that view and then controller will follow one-to-one relationship. Okay, similar way, this view belongs to this. Okay, I can say there is one-to-one relationship is there between this view and this controller. But sometimes shared views may be required. So that point of time, one view may be linked with multiple controllers. So there one to n relationship will be there. Okay, I hope you understood the folder structure and rules. Okay, so today let me stop. So tomorrow we will try to understand how to give the implementation. So tomorrow I am going to explain this flow in the code. I will try to implement all these things in code. Okay, I will show you how to implement it. Okay, so maybe in the next session I will try to explain this one. Okay, so with that, mostly whatever I thought of explaining in MVC may be getting completed. Okay, so but while explaining this particular part, I will be talking about many things, and even while explaining about this thing, I will be explaining about many things. Okay, so thank you all. So today I am stopping. So tomorrow what time we will be continuing? So today you just understood only theory. Okay, how data will be flowing from one place to another place. So tomorrow you will understand the implementation part of it. Okay, so hopefully. Okay, so thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.